What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. On today's episode, we're going to talk about Montrezl Harrell going to the Philadelphia 76ers, Carmelo Anthony may be on the move to Boston, and what that really does mean for the Chicago Bulls as other teams around the East continue to make moves that may pay dividends. We'll get into all that and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
All right, Bulls fans. So, as most of you saw, a target that a lot of Bulls fans, I think, were hopeful that the Bulls may take interest in if and when they do cut Tony Bradley, and that was bringing in Montrezl Harrell. Now, he has signed a deal with the Philadelphia 76ers for 2 years, $5.2 million, so not a huge deal at all there. They bring in some toughness that they need. They already added PJ Tucker over the course of the summer, and they continue to add weapons to that team. And, Philly is really trying to gear up for a deep playoff run. They're trying to fill in a lot of the holes that, they were affected by not having during their playoffs last season. They are also a team betting on and hoping for better health as well with the Chicago Bulls. They have players like Maxey who can take leaps as well that really help that team get to new heights. And so it continues the trend now of, targets that the Bulls fans would have wanted. Targets that, also are not very expensive, knowing that the Bulls are trying to avoid the luxury tax. And another one with Carmelo Anthony being rumored now with Danilo Gallinari's ACL injury of heading to Boston. And Carmelo Anthony, I did a video on him, I think about a week or two ago, just talking about when the Bulls do cut Tony Bradley, could Carmelo Anthony be a good target for the Chicago Bulls? So we're seeing other teams that are already above the Bulls continuing to add weapons. And in an offseason in which Bulls fans are already questioning the moves that the Bulls did or did not make, and to see other teams continue to add weapons, to continue to add to their core, Bulls fans are left wondering, hey, why not us, right? Why not us? Why are we still sitting around and still worried about Lonzo Ball's injury, not having the some of the acquisitions that we would have wanted to see the Chicago Bulls make, as we're now in like the fourth or fifth wave of free agency, and there's still some key free agents out there that could make impacts on the correct team. Montrezl Harrell, a player who would have brought a lot of toughness to the Chicago Bulls, a lot of toughness that the Bulls fans and we know that we need on this team. Replacing Tony Bradley when the Bulls can cut him, I think about 5 or 6 games into the season, and bring in another player at the veteran minimum. Trez would have been a great player to kind of fill that role, fill that, that veteran minimum role. Another player that we could cut if a deal could come, if we need an open roster spot, things like that. And Bulls fans are really kind of frustrated with the lack of movement by the Chicago Bulls. Now, one thing that I will say is that the Bulls, technically, can they cut Tony Bradley at any time? Yes, but it is financial limitations that would have happened with that. Now, we don't even know for sure if the Bulls are planning on just cutting and waiving Tony Bradley when they can, or if they just plan on kind of rolling the dice, maybe leaving that in their back pocket if a trade or something comes up. And then the Carmelo Anthony thing, a player that still has a scoring punch, has his defensive limitations hugely, but could have brought that scoring punch off the bench that the Chicago Bulls need, as well as some shooting, some shot creation, things like that. And, I understand it, right? I do understand wanting the acquisition, like replacing Tony Bradley with either one of those players would have been a huge positive for the Chicago Bulls, especially as they gear up, not really knowing health, not wanting to bank on health if some other injuries do pop up. Yeah, they could have been great veterans to add for the Chicago Bulls. And, Carmelo thing hasn't happened for sure yet. So let's not I don't want to act like that's a foregone conclusion. There are rumors and rumblings around that, however. And so, it's kind of per the course, right? We knew, anybody who's paying attention, the Chicago Bulls made their free agency moves. The Tony Bradley thing, the fact that they can cut him, that's something that's, it's a possibility, but I don't want us as a fan base to just bank on and think come game 5, game 6, if we don't hear at the end of that night or the next day that Tony Bradley's cut, that let's raise our pitchforks and be upset again that the Chicago Bulls aren't doing more. Those free agents making it to that point where the Bulls could have signed them was kind of a long shot. I mean, it wasn't completely out the realm of possibility, but you don't want to bet on that. We'll see what happens with the Chicago Bulls team. I do think that as you do see other teams, we already talked about the Cleveland acquisition very heavily. We've talked about what Atlanta has done over the course of the season. And with these two teams, the Sixers and the Boston Celtics, if they do make this Carmelo Anthony deal, again, I want to be clear here, that deal is rumored right now, nothing solid. Who knows? By the time I drop this video, that a signing may be announced. But with all that being said, what's happening with this team, and really, at the end of the day, this team's AK told us what it was going to be. They are betting on continuity. They are betting on some of their young players developing to help increase that. They're also betting on health overall to help increase where the Bulls were from last season. I did a video yesterday on where the Bulls stand, and I know a lot of Bulls fans are sitting back kind of wondering, questioning exactly where the Bulls are going to sit in the Eastern Conference when everything is all said and done. And that story remains to be written. I still continue to have faith in this team, regardless of what happens or what acquisitions they don't make. I do want to see Ayo Dosunmu, Patrick Williams take a leap. Like, what do we get from Dalen Terry now that it may be some minutes open for him with Lonzo Ball if he's not ready to go by the start of the season? And another thing with that, on the Bulls Talk podcast, let's talk a little bit about Lonzo Ball before we get into the 2K ratings, is that Casey Johnson did say on Bulls Talk podcast today that he's still hearing optimistic things, that the Bulls have not officially said anything. Nothing official has come up. Let's keep in mind that everything that we're hearing is rumor, speculation, people talking to people. But in Casey Johnson, in the Bulls Talk podcast, and what he made sure he highlighted today was just saying that, per what he's heard and what he's been in contact with, a decision hasn't been made yet. They are waiting to take a look at him when he comes in. He has a scheduled check-in with Bulls staff in the upcoming weeks, and they'll make that determination then. I'm not saying that he's not going to miss the start of training camp. I'm not saying that he still may not miss the start of the season, but I do think, let's put it in perspective, that the Bulls have not officially said anything about Lonzo Ball since July. They have not said anything. Nothing official has come up. So everything that we're hearing, like I kind of alluded to, yeah, it's something that people have heard through grapevines. The timing of certain things and releases could be different than what the timeline actually is. Let's just wait and see. He's going to be evaluated at the start of training camp, and then that's when we'll get some official and firm news on what the Bulls are planning to do with Lonzo Ball by the start of the season. But okay, let's get into the 2K ratings. So 2K ratings are something that I don't buy a lot into. They change over the course of the season, but I do know that a lot of fans and basketball fans, like, they play 2K more than they watch actual basketball. And so this is a big thing for some people. So we've gotten the ratings released so far for DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine. DeMar DeRozan is going to come in at 89. LaVine's going to start the season at 88. Now, that has raised the question, is that too high, too low? Most Bulls fans think, of course, that LaVine should be more towards a 90. DeMar should be more towards a 92. Looking at how some of the other ratings have come out, it does seem like they're trying to, and 2K does this every so often, right? Every couple of years, they kind of limit ratings. They kind of rejigger the rating, where, like, the highest rating player now, I think, is Giannis at 97. And so with that being said, like, putting it in perspective, I can kind of understand it. Again, I do think that they both should be a little bit higher, but it kind of is what it is. When you look at the way that the Bulls season ended, it's going to be a lot of doubt. You already see the doubt coming from the national media. That's going to translate to 2K as well. And also, I do want to point out that there was a list released of, like, all Bulls ratings. That's already been debunked. That came out, like, shortly after LaVine's rating was released, and that list had DeMar DeRozan at a 90. Clearly, now that 2K's officially released it, we see that wasn't true. So don't believe that list. I think that list had, like, Patrick Williams at, like, a 74 and Tony Bradley at a 75. That list is not actually valid. That's not the true list. So don't, if you are a 2K player and you go into those ratings heavily, don't let that affect your mindset too much. That's already been debunked. And we'll continue to see. 2K comes out this Friday, and I can't wait. We are 2 days away from 2K Day. For those who don't know, I am a huge 2K player. I play 2K Madden all the time. That's like the one yearly game that I get every year is 2K. I don't even get Madden every year. I kind of get Madden every other year. So we will continue to do. If you guys are interested in any 2K content, when it does drop, I can do a video of the players' ratings and things like that. If that's something that you guys are interested in, make sure you let me know that down below. But that is it for me for today. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. You guys know I appreciate you so much. You are the best part of Chicago Bulls Central. Make sure you follow the show at Bulls Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullcentralpod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text and our voicemail, you guys have been sounding off on the mailbag. So if you want to leave a text and our voicemail, 773-270-2799. Those mailbag episodes released Saturday mornings. And then usually we do 2 of them over the course of the weekend. So be on the lookout for that. Fill that mailbox up. But that is it for me for today. Like I like to end every episode on, go Bulls. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.